Hey everybody, it's Alan. Hope that you are doing well. Today is December 4th, and on this day back in 1976, Tommy Bolin passed away. He's a very interesting character in the world of music and rock and roll because he came in and he played in a position that seemed impossible to be in. He replaced Ritchie Blackmore in Deep Purple for a brief period of time. And the vitriolic nature of the way people approached his playing because he wasn't Ritchie Blackmore was frankly awful and somewhat shameful. As if it was his choice, to come into that situation. The relationship between the members of Deep Purple was, cantankerous at best. And he was hired as the replacement, and it's like you're offered a gig in one of the biggest bands in the world in the mid-70s, and you're going to turn it down because you don't know what the reaction's going to be like from the fans. Of course, you're going to take the gig. If you're good enough to play the parts, you're going to take the gig. And the way people reacted was just, in many ways, just awful. And he had so much pressure on him, and sadly, he didn't come out it on the other side. So we lost him in 1976, and that's just shameful. It's sad. It's very, very sad. With that said, in his memory, let's listen to the song Alexis.
Alexis, thank you for pleasant southern days spent on the levee, throwing pennies in the bay, and talking other rich folks on the big boats that pass that way. You were just a young girl, and I just could not stay. Alexis, I can't remember how we met back then. Was on my way to Atlanta, and on that road again. Not really poor, had money just not to spend. You were just a young girl, and I was in need of a friend. Well, Alexis always used to talk about leaving your hometown, heading north south. Maybe down to New Orleans, and you wanted me to help you out. You were just a young girl, and I was just a hobo. Had my doubts. Alexis, I did not want to leave you there. Sometimes this life we live is so unfair. I wanted to take you with me, but I did not dare. You were just a young girl, and I couldn't pay your fare. Alexis always used to talk about leaving your hometown, heading north south. Maybe down to New Orleans, and you wanted me to help you out. But you were just a young girl, and I was just a hobo. But had my doubts.
Nice, long, slow fade out right there. I can honestly say I am relatively proud that I have had the opportunity to hold that guitar in my hands, that exact one. Joe Bonamassa owns it currently, and he has brought it on by. Didn't want to leave it in the car while he was in the shop looking at stuff. So I've had the opportunity to hold that guitar, play a note or two on it. Nothing crazy, don't get me wrong, but I've had the opportunity to, and it's a pretty magnificent instrument, to be completely honest with you. It really is. Not only is it a beautiful instrument, but when you have it in your hand, there is this sense of, kind of a magical thing around it. I felt a lot of famous guitars in my life, from Blackie Strat to the Edge's 74 Les Paul Custom. I've held the Rosewood Stratocaster that Fender built for Jimi Hendrix, but he passed away before they could get it to him. I've been honored in that respect to do and have a lot of famous guitars go through my hands. Not all of them have that sense of mojo surrounding them, but this one definitely does. And I have to say it was an honor and a privilege to just even hold it for 30 seconds. It was really an incredible feeling. And so with that said, let's tip our hats to the memory of the late great Tommy Bolin. Go back and listen to more of the music that he recorded and played in his brief time in the spotlight. And if you're in the situation to maybe tip a glass in the man's memory today, because he was mistreated by the fans of Deep Purple. He was grossly mistreated by the fans of Deep Purple. And it comes to something that I mentioned last week or a week or so ago in some circumstance. I can't even remember what it was, but all the backlash that happened against Jethro Tull when they won the first Grammy for and beat out Metallica for that first hard rock and heavy metal Grammy ever done. Again, people forget that it was hard rock and heavy metal. And even though AC/DC was in that category and Jethro Tull won, it was the very first time that it was even a choice to vote for somebody in that category. And yes, the Grammys are completely flawed and I absolutely can't stand them. But the backlash thrown at Jethro Tull was horrible. Okay. The idiots who were Metallica fans at the time actually protested the band that won the award and didn't really protest hard enough the people who gave the award. Okay. The people who were throwing rhetoric at Tommy Bolin for replacing Richie Blackmore were vitriolic towards the player as opposed to the situation that surrounded it. And it's a common situation. It's almost like groupthink, human instinct. It's like you might be able to sit back and think, well, it's not really his fault. But then you get into the group of people and everyone's like, blame the guy. It's like, grab your pitchforks and torches and go after the ogre. And it's like, it's not his fault. He's a perfectly nice guy. It's a lot of pressure coming in and filling in that spot, and it's happened before and it'll happen again. But it's just something that I wish people would be more aware of the hypocrisy of the situation. It's not their fault. It wasn't Jethro Tull's fault that they were put up for the Grammy and then won the Grammy for best hard rock and heavy metal. Not just heavy metal, people. Calm the hell down. It wasn't just a heavy metal award. You would have had the same vitriolic response had AC/DC won it, but AC/DC is a band that you can at least look at and go, well, that's a hard rock band. And people at the time were like, well, Jethro Tull's not a hard rock band. They're a prog rock band. And there still to this day is no category in the Grammys for prog rock. None at all, Anyway, it's a side note on that whole thing. With that said, again, tip a hat to the memory of Tommy Bolin. And I hope y'all enjoyed this. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. We can talk about it further. Just know that I appreciate you all, and I wish you well. Take care.